First Contact Fallout. The massive command ship of the Galactic Hegemony hung in the darkness of space, its silver-blue hull reflecting distant starlight. Admiral Zortak stood before the holographic display, his four eyes narrowed as he studied the small blue-green planet that had recently caught the attention of the Hegemony's expansion division. "This is the target?" he asked, his voice a low rumble that resonated through his breathing chambers. "It looks unremarkable." Science Director Kelvan approached, her slender form gliding across the command deck. "Unremarkable is precisely what makes it valuable, Admiral. Earth, as the natives call it, possesses a perfect balance of resources. Minerals, water, atmospheric composition, all ideal for our needs. And the inhabitants?" Zortak inquired. Kelvan projected additional data onto the display. "Bipedal mammals. Technologically developing, but still primitive by our standards. They've barely ventured beyond their own moon. Their most advanced weapons are nuclear devices and conventional projectiles." Zortak flicked his upper eyes in a gesture of dismissal. "Then this will be a standard annexation. Send in the reconnaissance vessels. I want detailed scans of their defensive capabilities and command structures." Within days, sleek black scout ships entered Earth's solar system, their advanced cloaking technology rendering them invisible to conventional detection methods. They positioned themselves in strategic orbits, collecting data on Earth's military bases, communication networks, and population centers. In an underground facility beneath the Rocky Mountains, General Maya Rodriguez stared at readings that shouldn't exist. The facility, known only to a select few as Sentinel Base, housed Earth's most advanced tracking systems, technology that wasn't supposed to exist according to official records. "They're definitely not asteroids," she concluded, studying the anomalous signatures. "Movement patterns are too precise. We're looking at artificial vessels, at least 7 of them." Dr. Wei Chen, head of Xenotechnology Research, nodded grimly. "Their cloaking technology is impressive, but they clearly don't know about our quantum detection grid." "How long until they make their move?" asked Rodriguez. "Based on previous first contact scenarios we studied, they're gathering intelligence. I'd estimate 1 week before they reveal themselves." Rodriguez's expression hardened. "Then we have 1 week to prepare. Activate Protocol Thermopylae. And get me the Security Council, the real one." Within hours, a secret meeting of world leaders convened via secure channels unknown to the public. These weren't elected officials, but the actual power brokers who had been preparing for this day for decades. Representatives from every major nation received the same briefing. Earth was under surveillance by an alien force with technology centuries beyond public knowledge. "Can we fight them?" asked the Russian representative bluntly. "We've been preparing for this since Roswell," replied the American delegate. "Everything we've reverse-engineered from the crash sites over the years. It's time to deploy it all." 6 days later, Admiral Zortak received the reconnaissance data. "Primitive indeed," he concluded. "Their most advanced fighter jets wouldn't survive 5 seconds against our atmospheric interceptors. Their nuclear capabilities could cause minor damage to our shields, at best. There are some anomalies in the data," noted Kelvan, highlighting several sections. "Energy signatures that don't match their known technology level, and their communication patterns suggest they might suspect our presence." "Impossible," Zortak dismissed. "Their detection systems are centuries behind ours. Prepare the first wave. We'll position ships over their major cities and issue the standard ultimatum. The hegemony requires new resources, and this planet will provide them." The next day, massive ships materialized in Earth's atmosphere, their sudden appearance causing global panic. Media broadcasts were interrupted as a transmission cut through all frequencies. "People of Earth," came the translated voice of Admiral Zortak. "Your planet has been claimed by the Galactic Hegemony. Resistance is both futile and unnecessary. Surrender your governments and military control within 24 hours, and your population will be permitted to continue existence under our administration. Refuse, and we will demonstrate our power. choose wisely. In capitals across the world, civilians panicked while governments issued hollow reassurances. But beneath the surface, a different response was forming. At Sentinel Base, General Rodriguez addressed the unified command. They'd followed the exact protocol we anticipated. Their positioning indicates they're unaware of our subsurface installations and orbital platforms. Countermeasures are ready. What about the civilians? Asked a concerned officer. Regrettable, but necessary. The public panic creates the perfect smokescreen. They think we're scrambling for a response when in reality, we're about to execute a plan decades in the making. Earth's official response came just hours before the deadline. A seemingly frightened spokesperson for the United Nations addressed the alien vessels. We require additional time to coordinate our world governments. Please extend your deadline by 48 hours so we may prepare an organized surrender. Aboard his command ship, Zortak received the message with satisfaction. Predictable. They seek to delay while they futilely prepare defenses. Grant them 12 hours, no more. And prepare a demonstration. Target their largest uninhabited landmass in the southern polar region. As ordered, one of the hegemony ships fired a particle beam at Antarctica, vaporizing a massive ice shelf. The display of power was broadcast globally, a final warning. What happened next caught the alien fleet completely by surprise. From hidden silos buried deep within Earth's crust, platforms emerged. From underwater bases, vessels rose. And from the dark side of the moon, larger ships appeared, all bearing Earth insignias. What is this? Zortak demanded as alarms blared across his command deck. Where did these vessels come from? Before his officers could respond, Earth's true answer came in the form of concentrated energy beams, striking 3 hegemony ships simultaneously. The advanced shields that had protected them during countless conquests flickered and failed against weapons they had never encountered. Impossible. Kelvon gasped as data flooded her screens. They're using gravitic compression technology. Their weapons are collapsing our shield harmonics at the quantum level. Zortak watched in disbelief as the supposedly primitive humans countered with technology that matched or exceeded their own. The carefully planned conquest was rapidly becoming a desperate battle for survival. A transmission cut through the chaos. A stern-faced human woman in a military uniform addressed them. This is General Maya Rodriguez of Earth Defense Force. Your unprovoked aggression against our planet constitutes an act of war. We have studied your kind for decades, preparing for this day. You have 1 hour to withdraw from Earth space, or we will demonstrate the full extent of our capabilities. As the remaining hegemony ships regrouped, Zortak demanded answers. How could we have miscalculated so severely? Their technology is centuries beyond what our reconnaissance detected. A junior officer approached with a data tablet, his expression grave. Admiral, I've accessed the hegemony archives. There's something about Earth you need to see. He displayed classified records that made the Admiral's blood run cold. The tablet showed records dating back centuries, detailing previous contact attempts with Earth, all ending in disaster for the contacting species. More disturbing was Earth's classification in the Galactic Database. CAUHIJAN, Death World. Natives demonstrate unusual adaptive capabilities and technological integration skills. Approach with extreme caution. Direct conquest not recommended. Why wasn't this information provided before we launched this mission? Zortak demanded. The records were sealed by the Galactic Council, the officer replied. It appears someone wanted this information suppressed. As Zortak contemplated this revelation, more Earth vessels emerged from hiding places throughout the solar system. The humans had not only prepared, they had been ready for generations, waiting for the day aliens would make the mistake of threatening their world. The first contact had become first combat, and the hegemony was losing badly. The underestimated species. 3 days after the initial engagement, the hegemony reinforcements arrived. A battle fleet of 30 warships, led by Grand Admiral Selnor aboard the dreadnought Inevitable Dominion. They found Zortak's surviving ships in disarray, retreating to the outer edges of the solar system. Explain this disgrace, Selnor demanded as Zortak reported via hologram, his once proud posture now diminished. The intelligence was flawed, Grand Admiral. The humans possess technology far beyond their reported development level. They have gravitic weapons, phase shields, and quantum detection systems. They've destroyed 5 of our ships and damaged 7 others. Selnor's expression darkened. Are you suggesting that primitives who have barely reached their own moon could defeat hegemony warships? Ships that have conquered 17 star systems? I'm not suggesting it, Grand Admiral. I'm reporting it. And there's more. Earth is classified as a death world in sealed council records. Previous attempts at conquest have all failed. Enough excuses, Selnor cut him off. I will show you how the hegemony deals with resistance. All ships, battle formation. We strike directly at their population centers. As the reinforcement fleet approached Earth, they encountered no immediate resistance. The planet's defenses seemed to have withdrawn, emboldening Selnor. You see, Zortak, they expended their limited resources in the first engagement. Now they cower. Then, as the fleet reached optimal attack position, the space around them distorted. Dozens of satellites previously disguised as debris activated, creating a web of energy that enveloped the hegemony ships. What is this? Selnor demanded as ship systems began failing throughout the fleet. On Earth, in the Global Defense Command Center, General Rodriguez observed the operation with satisfaction. Phase 1 complete. Their drive systems are neutralized. Initiate Phase 2. From Earth's surface, Mars, and several asteroids, smaller craft emerge, hundreds of them, swarming toward the immobilized hegemony fleet. They're not attack vessels, reported a hegemony officer in growing horror. They're boarding craft. Within hours, human combat teams had breached 19 hegemony vessels, including the inevitable Dominion. Unlike the technologically advanced but physically unimposing hegemony soldiers, the humans fought with savage efficiency. Their combat suits enhanced their already considerable strength, and they adapted quickly to alien technology, turning the ship's own systems against their creators. Selnor, barricaded on his command deck with his remaining officers, watched security feeds in disbelief as humans methodically cleared deck after deck. How are they doing this? They're savages, not warriors. That's where you're wrong, said a voice behind him. Selnor turned to find a human soldier standing in the doorway, helmet removed to reveal a scared face. We've been warriors since before we invented the wheel. In the chambers of the Galactic Council, representatives from over 300 species gathered in emergency session. The massive circular hall hummed with tense conversations as the hegemony ambassador demanded action. The humans have captured 23 of our vessels and repelled a legitimate annexation attempt. He protested. The Council must intervene before this dangerous species expands beyond their system. The ancient archivist, a crystalline being who had served the Council for millennia, floated to the center of the chamber. Perhaps before demanding action, we should examine why the hegemony was permitted to target a world clearly marked as restricted in our archives. Murmurs spread through the assembly as the archivist projected historical records. Earth has been classified as a death world for 10,000 cycles. Its inhabitants evolved in one of the most competitive and dangerous environments known to the Council. They endured predators, extreme climate variations, radiation, disease, and constant warfare among themselves. The display showed human history, ice ages, plagues, wars, natural disasters, and humanity's consistent survival and advancement through it all. Most importantly, the archivist continued, humans possess an unusual ability to integrate and improve technologies encountered from other species. Over the centuries, 17 different civilizations have attempted contact or conquest of Earth. In each case, technology was lost or deliberately left behind. The humans studied these artifacts and incorporated them into their own development path. You mean they stole advanced technology? the hegemony ambassador accused. "Did your empire not begin the same way?" countered a representative from the Sentinel Collective. "The difference is that humans adapted faster than any species we've encountered. They compressed millennia of development into centuries." The chamber doors opened, and a delegation of humans entered, led by General Rodriguez. The council fell silent as these representatives of a species many had dismissed as primitive took their place at the speaking podium. "Esteemed council," Rodriguez began, her voice steady. "We come before you not as supplicants, but as equals. For generations, we have observed your civilizations from the shadows, recovering your crashed ships, studying your lost technology, and preparing for the day when you would notice our world." She activated a holographic display showing human colonies on Mars, beneath Earth's oceans, and even in the Kuiper Belt. "We have expanded throughout our system while maintaining the appearance of a planet-bound civilization. We developed phase technology, gravitic manipulation, and quantum communications, all while burning fossil fuels on our planet's surface to maintain the illusion of technological infancy." "Why this deception?" asked the council presider. "Because history taught us caution," Rodriguez replied. "Your records show how the hegemony treats worlds they deem valuable but primitive. We chose to appear primitive while preparing our defenses." The hegemony ambassador rose in protest. "This proves my point. They are deceptive and dangerous. They must be contained before they spread throughout the galaxy." Rodriguez turned toward him, her expression cold. "Your empire attacked us without provocation. You demanded our surrender and threatened our extinction. When we defended ourselves, you sent a larger fleet to punish us. And now you call us dangerous." A new transmission appeared on the council's main display. Grand Admiral Sel Moore, now a prisoner aboard his own vessel. "The humans have control of our entire fleet," he reported grimly. "Their adaptation abilities are unprecedented. They're already making modifications to our ships." The council chamber erupted in chaos until the ancient archivist raised a glowing appendage for silence. "Perhaps it is time to acknowledge what many have suspected. Humanity represents a new category of intelligent species. Their evolutionary path on a death world created something unprecedented. A species that grows stronger through crisis rather than stability." Rodriguez stepped forward again. "We don't want conquest. We want recognition. Earth demands full membership in the Galactic Council, with all rights and protections afforded to advanced civilizations. In return, we offer an alliance and will share our unique perspectives on adaptation and integration." "And if we refuse?" asked the hegemony ambassador. Rodriguez's expression didn't change. "Then we keep your ships and continue our development path independently. But consider this. We reverse-engineered your most advanced technologies from crashed scout ships and abandoned probes. Imagine what we could learn from a captured battle fleet." 3 days later, the Galactic Council voted to accept Earth as a full member, the first Death World species to receive such recognition. As part of the agreement, humanity would return the captured hegemony vessels, after removing all weapons systems, and would share their adaptation techniques with allied species. As the human delegation prepared to return to Earth, the ancient archivist approached General Rodriguez privately. "There is something I must know. The crystalline being communicated. How did humans progress so quickly? Even with recovered technology, the adaptation rate defies all models." Rodriguez smiled slightly. "We had motivation you can't fully comprehend. On Earth, we have thousands of stories about alien invasions, books, films, games. For generations, we imagined this scenario and prepared for it. When we found evidence that aliens were real, we united behind the scenes to get ready. You prepared for an invasion that hadn't happened yet. We imagined it. Then we built defenses against our imagination. That's humanity's real secret. We can be afraid of something that doesn't exist yet, then create solutions for it anyway." The archivist's crystalline form shimmered with what might have been laughter. "The galaxy will never be the same now that you've joined us." Rodriguez's smile widened. That was the plan all along.